and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Clutch Conversations. We're back at you one more again on a Thursday evening. First and foremost, I want to give a special thanks to everybody that checked in on us in the wake of the hurricane. Fortunately, here in Gainesville, we had minimal impact from Hurricane Ian. I know a few people lost power, but it wasn't a bunch of widespread impact here in Gainesville. We did have some rain last night. There's a little bit of rain today and some moderate wind, but by and large, we weren't heavily impacted. However, as I'm sure you saw in the news, those Floridians in Southwest and Central Florida, they've been greatly impacted and devastated by the hurricane and the storm surge that followed. So definitely please continue to keep those folks in your thoughts and your prayers. Before we get into the show, I do want to address a few housekeeping items. Definitely make sure you support US Arc and US Arc Florida. US Arc membership, you can get it for as cheap as $40, or you can even get it for $20 if you're a student. Membership to US Arc Florida is free. There's a free membership option. Definitely support financially if you can. And then speaking of support, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It really helps us out here on the channel. Thank you to everybody that's in the chat. We really appreciate the support. And then I got a new announcement for you. So recordings of these episodes going forward will now be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. So basically, whatever your favorite podcast platform is, chances are Clutch Conversations is there. So definitely go and check us out there. Listen to us there. Rate us, follow us, do all that stuff. We really appreciate it. Like I said, it helps us out. You can find the links to all of those podcast platforms in our link tree, which is included in the description of the video. And so I definitely want to get right into the show. This man tonight really needs no introduction. We got Will Morose from Royal Canadian Reptiles kicking it with us tonight on Clutch Conversations. So really looking forward. So without further ado, we're going to bring him to the stage. What's good, bro?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Living the dream.
Yeah.
How about
Trying,
you?
right? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So real quick, tell us a little bit about yourself, but outside of the reptiles.
Oh, outside of reptiles. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm just an average guy. I enjoy, being outside, spend time with dogs. I like to do a little bit of hunting. Yeah, I like living out in the country and just like being left alone. I did the big city life for quite a while, and we bought a place and moved out into the country, and yeah, never go back.
Words.
I like the work from home, I just stay at home and I just kind of do whatever I got to do around the property, and yeah, it's that's kind of what I do. That's kind of like really what I do. I take care of the rats, take care of the snakes, and spend some time outside. Although in the winter months, I will flip the old Xbox on from time to time. So,
okay. What game?
Yeah. It depends. Depends what I'm feeling. Sometimes Call of Duty.
Okay,
been playing
nice.
Some Diablo 2 actually recently. That's like super nostalgic. Like I played that as a kid, and then they released it for Xbox. I was like, no way. Yeah. I just whatever I'm feeling, just. I did play a lot of racing games like Need for Speed, stuff like that. But I find like in the summertime, like as soon as it's not cold out, I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm going outside.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. It gets much colder where you're at than it does in Florida.
Oh yeah. We get cold like so cold. I'm not going outside today. Like it's
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
It's cold.
And so
you
how
get
long
used
is
to it, though. You get used to it. You don't get used to how dark it gets, but you get used to the cold.
Okay. And how long do those extreme temperatures last?
We'll get down into right now, like we're in like the middle of fall. Like it's into October, leaves will start dropping here. It's beautiful here now. It's just like everything's red and yellow and gorgeous actually. But probably by mid-November we're into freezing temps at night every night. And then I would say as a general rule we get 4 months of the year that are like we don't go above freezing. We were always below freezing for about 4 months. That's
That's
generally January through March.
wow. That's
January, February, March.
unimaginable for me.
Like mid December. It totally depends on the year. Some years it can be a little more mild. Some years it can be like real cold.
Gotcha.
I'm hoping it's a little more mild this year, but we'll see.
I'm hoping so too, bro. So at what point along the way did you get into reptiles?
Well, I had some as a kid, man. Like my dad being a veterinarian, he was
Okay.
always kind of like, yeah, get whatever you want, like within reason, right? Don't He wasn't like 7 and be like, yeah, here, get a retic. But so I always was like, it liked animals, dogs, cats, like you name it. Like, and then reptiles was just kind of like something a little different, and I just like kind of gravitated towards that. And I had a leopard gecko as a kid, and I had
Okay.
a bearded dragon, which was like everybody said get a bearded dragon because you can handle them. Well, the one I got was like straight up Satan. Like this thing
Oh,
was
word.
psycho, dude. You couldn't touch it. You couldn't touch it. And he bit the crap out of me, and I was like, put me off of bearded dragon. Now, like, they are cool. Some of the morphs they got with them, but then I obviously got a ball python. That was pretty natural one. I had a corn snake and milk snake, but I got a ball python, and I always liked it the most, to be honest, out of all the reptiles I kept. I had some chameleons, just like nothing crazy. I wasn't like 2 with like basin emeralds or something, like, like it wasn't like that, or like some
Gotcha.
chondros or bolins or nothing like that. It was just kind of like your expo type animals, and I just liked the ball python. They were like, I was like 7 years old. I didn't really want to get bit by anything. And the
True.
ball python just was like that one I could just like, oh, hey, I'll pick him up. And he was like, chill, I didn't do anything. And yeah, and then I just grew out of it. I got into teenager. We got rid of it. And I went off to university. And then I kind of just like stumbled in, like, there. I walked by this pet store every single day on the way to school. And
Okay.
it was one of the things that I really liked about the pet store was they had ringtail lemurs. Actually, like they had this cage, like Zaboomafoo, like those like lemurs jump around and shit.
Oh,
And
nice.
then they had like this mesh on the thing that you could like walk up and put your hands, and they'd like run and like jump across the room and land on the mesh like right in front of you. And then I went in every day because I was just like, yo, there's lemurs. Like I'm just gonna pop in and say what up to those lemurs and then go. And the owner saw me coming in every day, and he was like, "You want to go in there?" And eventually, I got to go in and like hang out with them and like put them on the shoulder, and they're really cool. And I just got chatting with them and walked there. They had a small little reptile section, and they had a ball python in, of course, right? And I kind of like got chatting. I was like, "Oh, I used to have a ball python. I could get another one. I could see myself with another ball python." And dude, I bought a ball python and I brought it home, and it was like I didn't know, I guess. I just kept it in a glass tank, and it did fine. Everybody that tells me, like, oh, you can't keep them in a glass tank, they're going to get this, you're going to get that. Like, this snake did fine in a glass tank. Totally fine. As good as the stuff behind me does in tubs. So, I don't recommend the glass tank with like a heat lamp. I did a heat pad on half of
Okay.
it, and
Okay.
hide and stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
yeah, the animal did totally fine. But basically, I got home, had it for a couple of days, and was like, oh, ball python. Then just like on my laptop, and I ball python, and boom, and I just like literally just typed in ball python and ball python care. I think I put in and hit enter, and it was just like it was just like the Google images all along the top, and said ball python, all the links, and it was just like straight like different color. I was like, yo, why doesn't mine look like that? I want that one. Like mine's
What
brown.
kind did you have?
Yeah,
What kind did you have?
just
A
a
normal?
normal.
Okay.
It's just a normal. Yeah, it's just a normal. And I was just kind of like, why is that one yellow and that one's like the snake that actually like really hooked me was the caramel glow of all things. The caramel, unfortunately, it was the caramel hypo, right? But it was so fucking cool, man. I just was just like, this is so sick. And one of the first websites that I clicked on was ballpython.ca, which is Mark Mandic.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I went on his website, and I'm just like, what is this world of like this craziness?
What year was this?
This was I want to say that's 2007.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I bought snakes in it might have been early 08, January, February of 2008 type of thing.
Okay.
And or maybe it was 2000. It was either 07 or 08. I think we produced our first clutch in 08 or 09. I'd have to go back and look. Honestly, I don't
Okay.
even remember.
Gotcha.
But it was quite a while ago. And anyway, I called Mark and I was like, hey man, like I just got a ball python. I just went to your website and like you have some of the coolest looking snakes I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, where are you located? Like I'd like to like buy one. And turns out he was like 30 minutes away. Like I didn't even know that. But I was
Oh,
like, yo,
wow.
I'll get in my car right now and come see you. And Mark was like, yeah, like come by yourself. I don't want a bunch of like people coming with you because I was like a college kid, right? He knew that. He was like, what are you? This guy's gonna come down with a bunch of buddies. Oh, yeah, okay. And I came down by myself and went and saw Mark, and he spent like 2 hours with me just going through the room. And I like left and was just like, what did I just see? Like that was. And then I came home, did some researched it, called him back, bought some snakes, away from there.
What'd you start with? What'd you get from Mark?
I got a caramel pinstripe and
Okay.
some het caramels and a pastel enchi, I think. Yeah, I spent more money than I should have. Like I was in college, I didn't have that kind of money to be throwing around, but I was just like, dude, every bin. I'm like, how much is that thing? You know, like I want it all, and you know, like at the time, like we're talking like a super Mojave would have been like probably around that $3,000 range.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, like they were pretty. There's still like some of the stuff, like you know, I think I ended up not that day, but I ended up going back to Mark and buying a pastel Mojave hypo female, and I think she was 2,500 or 3, which like it obviously has come down significantly since then, but yeah, and I just kind of had a fluke, maybe just what I liked looking at, but I was always like, my eye always went to like the recessive genes
Gotcha.
without knowing that like the recessives are what carries the value and the recessives are like where the market's going. Not without even like understanding that,
It's
it
just a
was just
gut
kind of
feeling.
like I liked them right from the get-go. And it was just and then what happened is I went home and I showed Dad. It was like we got talking, and you know, he likes the snakes, he likes all that stuff. So it was a pretty natural thing. And he's like, yo, like you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, fuck, let's do this. And yeah, man, rest is history. Like and then it's just like boom, 15 years later, it's like, whoa, like
Nice.
where'd the time go, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
So how did y'all come up with RCR? And tell us about the meaning behind that.
Really, it started off as we had like the old logo, which was like we took from so Royal Canadian is like we have a lot of things, like a lot of like legitimate organizations in Canada, like mainly government run stuff is Royal Canadian, right? So it's like we have like the Royal Canadian Legion, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Royal Canadian Air Force, the Royal Canadian, and that's like your like status of like official, like it's the Royal Canadian, whatever, right?
Gotcha.
And then it kind of tied in because it's like also like the Royal Python. So we were kind of like the Royal, and it was just like Royal Canadian, Royal Python, and then went Royal Canadian Reptiles, and then like we used to just call it Royal Canadian Reptiles, Royal Canadian Reptiles, Royal Canadian. We say that about a gazillion times. I'm like, RCR is so much easier, and and we went to RCR. Like we're still like Royal Canadian Reptiles, but everybody just says RCR.
RCR.
I just say RCR, and we went to that about probably 6 or 7 years ago, and it kind of just like we did a rebrand. Michael, Matt, I got you, bro. I got you. But we did basically a rebrand, changed the logo to the one you see on my head, and that's sort of stuck for the last little while here.
Okay, yeah. Bet. So who all is it? So it's not just you, it's other folks who own the business as well?
No, so it's Dad's busy with his own stuff. You know, he owns his own vet clinic. He's super busy. So him and I do this, like, basically it started off as just fun. It was just like a hobby.
Okay.
There was no like real like business intent behind it, and it just kind of like grew into something over the years. And then you know, this would have been 2 years ago now. I actually left my full-time job and started doing this full-time, and
Nice.
it's been great. Dad, yeah, I think it's just kind of like his little like spot to go in and just like kind of like walk around and open up bins and just look at
Check out all the
stuff.
cool stuff.
Half the time it's like, what we have one of these? Like, when did we hatch that? I was like, dude, we hatched that 4 years ago. What do you mean? Like, oh, I didn't remember hatching that. It's just like, I think it's just like his fun thing. He's still thoroughly enjoys. I think he really likes the genetics aspect the most. Like the
Okay.
like planning and like, okay, if you do take this gene and we breed it over here, then we can produce something from this clutch that will tie into something that we've produced 3 years ago. And it's like the logistics and like the planning of all the how to get to a specific spot the quickest with and not the quickest like it comes out of the egg, feed it 5 times a week, get it breeded at 16 months. Like, no, not like that type of quickest. Like, just like knowing that next year, I hatch a male last year. I take that male and I know that I'm going to pair that male once it's an adult to a female that I already have. So I know that I'm going to do that pairing. So this season, I'll do a different pairing that hopefully I can hit a boy out of that clutch and he can breed and they kind of like mature at the same time, right? So like a female that I hatched this year and a male I hatched next year will both mature roughly around the same time. She'll be 3, he'll be 2, and then generally they work out pretty well.
Gotcha.
But just that sort of logistics. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, about how many animals are you working with now?
A lot. I don't even know, man. We're gonna do about probably 88 clutches this year.
Okay.
That's so quite a bit. I don't know the exact number. Somewhere in the 300 to 50 adult range, something like that.
Gotcha. So I know, like, for me, my routine fairly straightforward, fairly simple. I don't have nearly as many animals as you. So what's your routine like? Like, how's that work? And then you also got the rats too.
All day, every day. Pretty much. That's the routine. This we've been working. This summer's been crazy because we've been putting up a new building. Just yeah. But so this summer the routine's been a little thrown off. But as a general rule, it's I spend most of my week on the phone chatting with people, trying to like just figure out. Like, we obviously have like a group of people that we help fairly closely, and
Right.
And I'll help them with like their what their collection's looking like, what I would recommend, and as a way to take it to the next level, or if you're trying to produce a specific thing or get to a specific point, how quickly do you want to be there? Can you wait 5 years? Do you want it next year? Like, I just kind of come up with strategies for people and how they can further their collection, I suppose. So I do a lot of that. Obviously, there's the animal care, the rodents, just all that stuff that's just almost second nature at this point. It's just kind of like I get up, have my coffee, over to the snake room. It's just like that's just like what I do. It's like I go to work and I go into the snake room and check for clutches, check for stuff, make sure everything's good. Just check. Just it just becomes like it's almost like you're married to it. You can't get away from it. Like it's such a big collection now that it's like I have to be there. It's like it's even tough. Like I kind of worry about, like, can I go away for a week? Like, can I really go on vacation for a week? It's like I can, but
do
like
you
I
have
really
any employees or anybody that helps you with it?
Yeah, we got an employee. We have Adam, fantastic guy. One of my really good friend of mine. Met him. He bought a snake from us. I just got a really good vibe when he came over. I was like, yo, I trust this guy and I like this guy. And I called him up out of the blue one day and was like, hey, dude, you have any interest in helping us out? And he was like, are you kidding? Yeah, no problem.
Hell yeah.
And that was 2.5 years ago, and he's not missed not missed a single weekend except the weekend his kid was born.
Oh wow, yeah. So
And
very
like, dude,
reliable,
that's like
super
rock solid.
reliable.
Oh,
That's what's
dude,
up.
like anything, anything at all. Yeah, super good dude.
Because it's hard to
He's,
find good help these days.
he's coming to Tinley with us, so we bring him. We'll bring him to Tinley. He's fantastic guy. Everybody who, he's busy, right? So I'd love to get him. We have some plans coming up. I'd love to introduce him more as part of our CR because he is a part of it for sure.
Gotcha. That's what's up. So you was talking about the projects earlier, and I know you've been working on like double recessive, triple recessive projects for a little minute. So can you talk about how you structure your projects to make them more efficient? Like get into like your holdback strategies, just kind of go into a deep dive of that thought process and just kind of how you're thinking about that and planning that out.
Yeah, it's tough. So I look at like if I know I'm gonna be working a triple recessive, right? We can pick a Desert Ghost Hypo Clown. Okay, we'll pick that one.
Okay.
So I know if I said to myself today, I know that's the route I want to go. Without, and again, it also depends on what you have already, right? So it's easy for me to say, well, take the best clown male you have and breed it to a DG Hypo. It's easy for me to say that because I can do that. But I understand a lot of people can't do that. So that's where it's like, I like to, for me, it becomes much easier to do because I can say, well, if I'm going to do that project, basically what I try to do is for every triple, I think for every triple, there's 8 different projects that spin off of it. There's 9, I believe. No, 7. I don't even know what it is. 4 singles, 4 doubles. DG Hypo, DG Clown, Hypo Clown, DG Clown, right? Yeah, so I think it's 4, 4, and 1. So I think there's 9 total projects that come off of any 3 genes. No, sorry. 3, 4. I think it's 8. You have your 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll have to write it down.
My head just gets like, hang on.
I'll definitely have to write it down.
But basically, if you take three genes, Clown, Hypo, and DG, right? You have those 3 projects that on their own, and then you have all the doubles that come along with it, and then you have the single triple.
True.
So basically, what I try to do is I try and make sure that I have all of the double projects started. I know I'm working towards that triple. So if I have, let's say if it's DG Hypo Clown, I know I want to get to that triple, but I want to make sure I have some DG Hypo stuff started. So I try and get some like Hypo combo stuff and breed it into some DGs and get those double hats going. And now it's becoming easier to make like visual hats. It's quite a bit easier now because you can get a pretty good Hypo combo that's Het Desert Ghost, breed to your combo Desert Ghost, and you make combo DGs that are Het Hypo, or vice versa. But I want to get the DG Hypo stuff going. I want to get the DG Clown stuff going, and I want to get the Hypo Clown stuff going, right? I want to get all those projects started so that once I get into that like triple territory, I can take, if you have the DG Hypo going, the DG Clown going, and the Hypo Clown going, once you land on that DG Hypo Clown, now I can just like, okay, I can come over here and make DG Hypo Het Clowns, DG Clown Het Hypos, Hypo Clown Het DGs, all with the same male, and that project just goes like it just explodes. Where
that makes sense.
It's crazy how fast it takes off if you've done that foundation work. And a lot of times what I see is I see someone, well, not a lot of times, but they'll go and buy like, let's say they go and buy a triple recessive male. Then they bring it home and they're like, well, I don't have any of those projects really started or fleshed out. And yes, the triple male is a great male to have. Obviously, no one's going to tell you that, oh, don't buy a triple recessive male. Like, of course, it's amazing. But it's I don't think you're using it to its like full potential. And I think that you'd be better off to take a step back a little bit and really build that like foundation, build that like bedrock for your collection where it's like, okay, I have my base now. Now I can go crazy with males. I've bought my base. Like I've built my base, and everyone's going to do it slightly differently. That's what we did. And I think it worked. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. We make some cool stuff. We'll make a bunch of shit too. That's just the name of the game.
See, like for me, spacing is a consideration, right? So I
Oh,
got,
dude, yeah, it's yeah,
and I mean, it's like that for everybody, but different people have different spacing considerations for me. So, like right now, we got this room, and that's primarily where all of the snakes are. We got a few in some other rooms, and then I got a space where if I need to utilize that space, I can get like probably at least 200 more ball pythons, like adult ball pythons. But growing that big is a consideration for one, just because of like time, right? So there's a time resource too, right? So you don't want to get too big too fast and not be able to like spend the amount of time, and you don't want to get burnt out and all these different things. But at the same time, like right now we're focusing on 5 recessives, right? So clown is pretty much baseline throughout all of our projects. And then
good.
DG is like a close second. And hypo, DJ and hypo is like a close second, and then ultra male coming behind that, and then Pied is probably the least. But those are the 5 recessives we're working with, and I feel like those are a lot of recessives that go well together. But
Yeah,
to work all those
absolutely.
projects, it take like a lot of space. You know what I mean. And you got to hold
Oh
back
yeah.
and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts on like how much to hold back and things of that nature?
Again, how much you hold back is totally dependent on how much space you have and what the resources are like, right? You can't, I would never say to somebody like, hold back this entire wall if you don't have the space to grow them out, right? It just doesn't make sense. Um, it's tough to know that's something I struggle with a lot, and I know some people are gonna laugh when I say like I struggle with what to hold back, but it's true because I get this reputation. Oh, he just keeps everything, and I do to an extent because like I am my best customer. I'm breeding. I don't breed for everybody else. A lot of guys will breed for money clutches. That's totally fine. If that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. No, nothing wrong with it. But I don't breed that way because I've never had to do that. I've never really had to. I have to put these together because I know they're going to generate income. And so what I do is I breed like I'm going to breed these together because I'm looking for something out of this clutch that I can take and put into my collection and further develop. And then the income comes from the stuff that I no longer need. So let's, for example, I tried this year to make some Wookiee Desert Ghost 100% het clowns, right? I wanted
Nice.
the Wookiee DG het clowns. That was what I was looking for. Now, I hit some, but then I also hit some Wookiee double het DG clowns. So I have my DG het clowns that I was looking for, but the Wookiee double het DG clowns are going to be for sale, and those are as much of money makers as most money clutches that I can put together anyway. So really strive to like make what you want to keep for yourself and sell your byproduct. And that's sort of the model that we kind of ran with. It's like it's every clutch is us first. I'm not
Gotcha.
producing clutches for other people. I don't take two clowns and bring them together and be like, well, I know I can sell all these clowns. So everything that we produce is everything I tried to produce. I'm always looking for something in that clutch. I'm not always going to get it. I may say I'm breeding these together and I'm looking for this specific 3 gene combo in a female, right? That's what I really want. If I don't get that, so be it. The clutch is for sale. But I'm always breeding stuff that I'm looking for.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I've also heard you talk about like baselining specific genes like throughout your clutch. Like I know you do a lot of desert ghosts and you got DG pretty much running through everything. Can
Right.
you speak a little bit to that and the considerations and the pros of doing it that way?
Yeah, it makes if you want to talk about triples, it makes it a lot easier to start hitting them because if you baseline a gene, so let's say you take clown and you run everything in your collection as visual clown or het clown or it's clown related.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now when something comes up for sale, like I don't know, a DG het clown, it's like, oh, I have to get this. It ties into my collection so well that it would makes no sense not to have it. And so when I because it's a bit of a bigger collection, DG is definitely like a huge portion of the collection, but it's becoming more so like there's a bunch of puzzle stuff there too. There's a lot of clown. Like there's quite a bit of clown stuff. So it's funny because I can take a sunset het clown, right? Yeah, I'm going to pay for it, but I can take a male like that and put it to work right away in a meaningful way. I can put him into like really, really good clown combos right away. Well, once he's mature and breeding, obviously. But
Yeah.
But basically, what it comes down to is once you've baselined and you started working on those double recessives and you have those going, I can now take a DG hypo, bring it to a DG puzzle. Everything comes out DG. That's what I mean about baselining. Everything's DG, double het hypo puzzle. Now I can start putting those back together. And I'm 1 in 4 shot for DG hypos, 1 in 4 shot for DG puzzles, and I'm a 1 in 16 shot for the triple. And anything I can do to like lower those chances for that, like really, really, the triples, the quads, anything I can do to like drop those odds a little bit, I'll do.
Gotcha.
I want to get to the point where I'm not just like, and we're getting really close. But I'm trying to get to the point where I'm not just like producing a triple, like it's a flash in the pan. Like you get like, oh yeah, I made 1 triple in a season and that was it. I want to get to the point where I'm producing 30, 40, 50 combinations of triple recessives per season. And we're making pretty good progress with that one. A lot of like, we're getting into the point now we're making like the double visual hets. So like a Desert Ghost Clown that's 100% het pied, DG pieds that are 100% het clown, the DG double hets, clown double hets, pied double hets.
Those are good animals to have.
Yeah, that stuff's rolling. So it's a matter of time now.
Nice. Yeah, I know that's one of the challenges that I have is really kind of like projecting like what I'm gonna have in the next few years, because a lot of it is dependent upon the odds, and so I just try to like think of like scenarios and kind of like what
project
I need in general.
Want to happen. That's what I do.
Project what you want to happen.
Like I do the same thing. I project what I want to happen. I like if I'm thinking of a pairing, it's like I want this female out of that clutch, so I'm gonna pair for it. And I don't always get it, but when you do get those, like you'll have like 5 or 6 different projects going at the same time, right? Depending on how big your collection, you might have 30 going, but not all the projects are going to like just fall, like everything's going to line up and it's going to be perfect for you. But 3 or 4 of those projects might go exactly how you wanted it to go. I can get DG Clown is a project we're so stacked in. I got so much of this stuff and I still have a hard time making them. Now, part of that's because I take really long shot odds, but I still have a hard time making them. They're not like a super easy thing. I don't really necessarily do like DG Clown to double hets. I use the DG Clowns to do other shit, and I use the double hets and like a visual het to double hets. But I still have a hard time making them. But the Desert Ghost Puzzle project kind of just like, we started it and I just went like, we can't miss. Oh my God, no. I can miss.
Knock on wood for sure.
So far, it's felt like we can't. Like every clutch that we've hatched with DG Puzzle, we've hit DG Puzzles, which is insane with the odds that we should be having.
Right.
But then clutches with the other clutches, like with DG Clowns, where I should have 3 or 4 of them, I'm getting none of them. It's like, oh, come on. That's just the name of the game. But that's just, I knew I wanted to go DG Puzzle, and it just kind of like it all went very, very well. DG Clowns one that's it's a frustrating one. It's a frustrating one because they're there. There's like I shouldn't say, there's a pile of breeder females there that are in that project, and it's just like, go. They like I bred them all this year, and like 3 went, and I was like, oh, come on. And then everything else that I didn't expect, that was the stuff that I took this year and went. So it's almost like you have 2 seasons. Like I run like 300 females, and I'll do like 80, 90 clutches one year, but then the next year, like 30 of those same girls go, and then another different 50 go, and then the same year, another 30 of the same, and another 50 go. And so you're getting like a heavy year for, I don't know, like tri-stripe stuff, and then a heavy year for clown stuff, and then a heavy year for DG puzzle stuff, and a heavy year for DG clown stuff. It's like, it's never like all of it went, and I'm actually kind of glad that it doesn't all go, because I'd be swimming in babies.
Inundated in babies, yeah.
Yeah, just too much, you know. Careful what you wish for. I see a lot of new guys coming out. I want to do 200 clutches. I'm like, dude, good luck. No way.
That's a lot. That's a lot, bro.
No way, man. 100 is so many babies, man. If you
Yeah,
get
because you
6
think
extra clutches,
exactly 600 babies. That's a lot, bro.
You think like that's not that bad. That 100 clutches, the rack behind these sea serpents racks behind me, the 88 clutches that we're gonna do is gonna take about 23 feet of wall just to house the babies.
That's a lot of babies, bro.
Dude, it's a lot. It's a lot.
A lot of cleaning, a lot of feeding. That's a lot.
Oh yeah, tons.
That's a lot. Yeah, I definitely advise, and I'm new. We only been doing this like 2 years, but one of the things that I've learned is definitely take your time, don't rush it. And we've grown fairly quickly, but 100 clutches is I couldn't do it
it's a lot
right now. That's a lot, bro.
Yeah, I thought Matt asked how many 55-40 per recessive. I go like a 55-40 per double recessive.
Okay.
I'm trying to like not work as many single recessives anymore. I'm trying to like make everything, instead of going puzzle, I want everything to be DG puzzle. Instead of going clown, everything's DG clown, right? Obviously, it's easier said than done, but that's what I work towards always.
Gotcha.
Or I try to at least.
Yeah, so I know I remember hearing you say that the planning and logistics of the project is probably like one of your most favorite things about it. Why is that?
It's like a big chess game. It's like a big like organization. It's like it reminds me of like playing like, I don't even know. I can't even think of a good example. But it's like I don't know. It's just the logistic. I worked in logistics for a long time, so it was kind of
okay.
You know, this truck has to be over here so that this load can pick up, and then by the time this guy gets here, this guy's empty. He picks up that load. He goes across. There's another guy waiting for him. He goes down. So it's like the planning aspect, and it's like it's just like that. It's just a different. Okay, if I pair these two snakes, hopefully I hit something that I like a male out of this, and it will tie into a female that I produced last year. And if that all goes well, next season I'm going to pair these together, and these eggs should be hatching, and they'll mature at the same time. And I'm trying to look like 4 to 5 years in advance. But yeah.
Yeah. So Jeff got a question. He said, "What's your favorite project if you could only choose one?"
Desert Ghost Puzzle, no question.
DG Puzzle.
Oh yeah. I've got some new hatches that I haven't shown off yet, and like, whoa, like yeah, I am going full bore with that one. That's a good one.
Nice.
DG Clown's a good one too.
What's up, Corey?
DG Hypo, as far as like a color palette, if you just want like to do the color stuff, I'm gonna start to incorporate DG Hypo into all the DG. Like I want my new base to be DG Hypo. It was DG, and it's becoming DG Hypo. And then obviously, yeah, Corey. I'm sorry, bro. Tri-Strike for sure. Tri-Strike's a banger too, man. I do like Tri-Strike quite a bit. But if I have to pick a project, it's gonna be Desert Ghost Puzzle.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, do you see the genetic testing affecting your strategy in any kind of way?
Oh yeah.
How so?
Big time. Yeah, it'll change quite a bit. I actually, right here, have a set of CITES paperwork. 100 sheds to the lab. So yeah, we're on board with it. I don't like it personally. If I had a choice, I would say let's not do this and keep things the way it is. But because it's gonna create some disparity within the market for sure.
Can you speed to that a little bit?
Yeah, I just don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's like is it people only look at the good. And I love that mentality where it's like, you know, nothing can go wrong. This is always great. Don't get me wrong, I love that optimism, but that's just not realistic either. I try and be like realistic. Look, is there good that comes from it? 100%. Absolutely there is. But is there negative that comes from it? For sure there is. All of a sudden, you're going to, whether you like it or not, you are going to devalue stuff. Everyone's already like, oh my God, the prices are coming down. it's going to speed up with genetic testing, like way faster. Because now I can, for example, I can now take the most loaded het clown that I can possibly buy, right? I can, don't buy the visual. Generally, I can get the better genes in the het than I can in the visual because it hasn't been made in the visual yet. But I can skip that step. So I can take the best possible het male I have. And now I can go like, I'll give you an example. I have a male that we're doing this with right now. He's a redhead, orange dream, yellow belly, leopard, Enchi, Mojave, het clown.
Nice.
Male. I take that male and I breed it to a chocolate puzzle that's 100% het desert ghost, right? All of a sudden, I just take those sheds and test them, right? Snake 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Test all those sheds. Oh, snake 3, 4, and 5 are double het DG clown. Or, well, I guess they'd all be het puzzle as well. But snake 3, 4, and 5 are double het puzzle clown. Okay, great. I have now put orange dream, yellow belly, redhead, Enchi, leopard, chocolate into double het puzzle clown, and then potentially into double het DG puzzle as well, which you probably will. And some of them are going to be in triples. Some of them are going to be triple het.
Yeah.
And if you go out and you make a, all of a sudden you're talking about like a orange dream, yellow belly, redhead, chocolate, spot nose, triple het DG puzzle clown, you have literally skipped 7, 8 years to get to normally make that animal. It would take you like 7 or 8 years to get to the point where you have a chocolate DG puzzle, the right genes in the clown male, they're both adults, you put them together, now you have your triple hets, your true triple hets. Right. Before, people could do it this way and take the chance. You just couldn't pick them out. The fact that we can now pick them out means that we've basically turned every single recessive gene into a codon. Now there is no more like, will that prove out? Send it shed in, find out if it will. It'll be 100% or not. And what has been the vehicle of stability in the market over the last 10 years? Recessives. Why? Because they weren't easy to make.
Right.
That was the thing. You needed to have the visual, breed it into something, make your hets, grow those up, then try the odds, right? What happens with codons, right? What happens with those incomplete genes, incomplete dominant genes? The prices come down on those significantly quickly. What was our way of keeping value on those incomplete dominants? Get it into a recessive. You take stranger, okay, put it into clown. Now it's going to hold its value. But if you just hold stranger on its own, yeah, of course, that's going to come down. All of a sudden, you've just done that exact same thing with recessives. Now,
that's a good point. Great.
They still have to map all the recessives. So they still have to map your sunset, your monsoon, your this, your that, your that. But the second they do, wow, I hate to say it, but why would I buy a visual anymore? I'll buy the best het rather than the best visual. No, obviously the visual always gives you hets. You don't have to worry about it. But a really
if you're trying to hit visual, you increase your odds.
A really good het can do equally as much. It can do 50%. Like, that everybody here who breeds has taken a pastel and bred it to an Enchi, and 7 out of the 8 babies are pastel combos or pastels, right? The same thing can happen with het clowns. Not always, but it can.
But it can, yeah.
And so you can get those clutches where you use a het clown and you breed it to a DG pied, your best het clown male, and breed it to a DG pied, and now you're into triple hets. Or you breed it to a DG het pied and test for pied and clown. You can really, really start to. And I think people are going to get a little bit discouraged. And I'm not doom and gloom on this. I think there's lots of benefit that comes from it. It will weed out some shady characters. It will. There's a lot of benefit. Projects will move quicker. We will get to see a lot cooler stuff. Not that we're having any issue making cool stuff these days. I don't know why we're trying to rush it, but it's just going to speed things up. And when you speed things up, you speed up the bad parts too. And everybody here, I know everybody here, always, you know, you go on Morph Market, man, that combo's come down a lot in price. That's going to come up. That's going to happen about 40% quicker now with genetic testing. My opinion, yet to be seen.
Gotcha. So speak to some of the good things you think about genetic testing and how it'll help.
Oh, I mean, as far as project building goes, it'll help tremendously. Like tremendously. You know, I take this high. I have been fairly vocal about I don't like it. I don't think it's a good thing for longevity in the industry. However, it's happening whether I like it or not. So join them or get left behind type of mentality. You got to do
how
it.
I feel about it now.
You got to be doing it.
It's get down and lay down.
Yeah, it's just the way it goes. So the second it was like, this is available, I immediately applied for sightings. I was like, yeah, 100%, let's go. And I've collected, dude, I have a stack of sheds this high. Like I have one right here, actually, from some babies back here. And this is from a Hurricane Clown, 100% het genetic stripe, 66% het desert ghost. If it proves het desert ghost, that's a very, very valuable animal.
Yeah.
So yes,
that's
it will help because and where it's going to help the most is going to be on your males. Your females not quite as much, but your males it'll significantly speed things up. If I hatch here's an example. I hatch a desert ghost pied 50% het clown male. Do I go through and I breed that boy to my best DG clowns and my best DG het clowns and clown het DGs? I don't know. I don't know if I do because I'm sort of like, well, I would generally, he's a DG pied, but he's only pos het clown. So do I really risk all my best DG clown stuff? Probably not. I'm probably going to do like maybe 1 or 2 trial breedings. I'd be like, oh, is he het or is he not? Maybe try him on some different clown stuff I have kicking around. Try it. Oh, he proved het clown. Okay, next year I'm going to use him heavily. But now I can just go like the second he comes out of the egg, separate him. He sheds out into his own bin. Take a little trimming in his shed, send it in. Is he het clown or is he not? He's a DG pied 100% het clown. He's going to the best of the best DG clown stuff. That's what I mean about speeding things up.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden has just, I don't have to do a trial breeding. It's like immediately I'm like, okay, I'll full bore ahead. And I think a lot of people think that it's going to help, but what it's going to really help is like big collections. It's going to really, really like, it's going to be like stupid helpful. Too helpful, honestly.
Do you plan on testing potential holdbacks only, or are you going to test ones that's available for sale as well that you know you're going to sell regardless?
Probably not most. It depends. It depends. So it will differentiate certain things about what will be holdbacks and what will not. A DG pied 50% het clown might not be a holdback. Right now, it's for sure a holdback. But I'm only holding it back because there's a possibility of it being het clown. Now, all of a sudden, I can test it. It's het clown or it's not het clown. If it's het clown, for sure it's a holdback. If it's not, it's for sale. The other thing I think it really I think it strips the magic, the fun, like that. Like, bro, proving stuff out is fucking awesome. It's just dope. Like, it's just sick. When you're like, I hope it proves out day 54. Is it going to prove out day 55? You're peeking in. Boom, there's a clown head. You're like, yo, it fucking proved sick. What else is in the clutch? You know, that's exciting. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's like what keeps people going.
And it takes that part away.
Shouldn't say it's not exciting, but it's not as exciting when it's like, it's het. There's still excitement there. Like, did I hit the odds? But you know that it's het or it's not. So one of the things I think it's going to kind of suck that magic out. The other thing that's going to kind of suck about it is people aren't going to be able to get as good of you're not going to be able to take the chance on shit anymore. You know, I might have a DG clown that's 50% het pied, where I already have the DG clown that's het pied, and I might have a DG clown that's pos het pied that I mark up slightly more than a DG clown, and somebody takes the chance on it. and somebody proves it out and gets a huge win, right? A massive win. Not anymore. It's DG Clown or it's DG Clown
Or
Head
it's not.
Pod.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna test those. Why wouldn't I? Everybody else is going to too. And so I kind of think it pulls some of that, like the newer guys, the guys who aren't on the giant budget, the guys who are just like really like like putting some sweat equity into it, and like they're busting their ass to save up to buy something like that, and they want to buy a clown pied that's 66% had hypo, and they have some hypo het clowns at home, and they're like really hoping it proves. That shit doesn't exist anymore with genetic testing. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't. Some people might. Some people might just say I'm not doing it, and they're still 66s. But that person's gonna buy that snake and then test it right away.
Right.
The magic of the proving out is, I just worry that if that goes, man, I'll still keep doing it. Obviously, I love it, but it's I may choose.
It's definitely a different way to look at it. There's some great points.
I want to not do it. That's what my heart says. Like I want to not do it, but I have to remain competitive. And that's the kind of shit that I'm not like super thrilled about. It's like, man, can't we just like, why we gotta like fuck up a good thing? Why we gotta do something that's already so dope? Like, look at the shit that you're hatching out and making. Why do we gotta speed it up even more? We already play with nature too much. Let's just like
pump the brakes a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Now, with that said, I'm sending in 100 sheds because I have to.
You got to now. At this point,
get down
or later.
That's it. And I'm not like super like pumped about that. However, all of that doesn't fucking matter because it's happening one way or another. So my opinion on whether it's good or bad doesn't really matter because it's happening. So get on board, basically.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so let's talk about leadership a little bit. Like for me, I feel like anybody can lead, right? Whatever point you at, whether you're big, small, new, old, or whatever, you can lead in some capacity, you can follow in some capacity. Do you feel an added responsibility, kind of given your size and kind of stature in the industry? Do you feel an added responsibility to lead and give back?
Not really. Not really. I maybe it's just like I don't feel like I necessarily lead all that well. I just kind of do my own thing, and if people like what I'm doing, then they follow along. I'm not going to change who I am. At the end of the day, I think there's a lot of ego comes into this. Like, oh, I hatched a fancy colored snake. Like, cool, man. Who gives a shit? We're all just guys that like to keep snakes, or like guys and gals that like to keep snakes, and we breed ball pythons. Like at the end of the day, we're not doing anything like super crazy here. So this whole like influencer and all that, I just kind of like, that's for you guys. I'm gonna keep making this stuff and working with the people that I work with closely and helping those guys. And I can only help so many people. And we've got a pretty good group. We do some live streams every Tuesday night, and we just enjoy it and try and I like to hear what everybody else is doing, but I spend 90% of my time with the people that I know are like interested in what's actually happening.
Gotcha. So that's the thought process you went into when you started the Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
Nixon, here's the catch-22 though. You look forward. I have some sunsets possible het clown. I'd love to find out if they're het. Yes, you do. But you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't be able to. You should be able to prove those out and be even more pumped when it happens. Because the difference in value can make a huge improvement on your collection. Absolutely. But it's doing the same thing with everybody else's. So it's not actually. Everybody else's is doing that too. It's got everyone else's is popping up. Why are we in such a rush to find out? I get it. I do. Trust me. I have so many snakes. I'm like, oh, dude, if that proves that DG, holy shit. I compare this to it. I get that feeling. I totally understand it. but proving it out is way, 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 way better for the market. Like way better for the market.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. It's a good comment here. Becoming less hobby and more business.
Yeah, man. It's like it's starting to feel like you got to be like a Costco, man. It's just like you have like an R&D department, and you have this and an HR department. It's like, man, no, I don't know. I shouldn't speak on that. It is what it is.
It's
Walking into it, wasn't demanding. I would. If I ever did that, I want someone to take me out back and beat the shit out of me. No way.
Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed about your Patreon. Like, it's super laid back. I enjoy the conversations on Tuesday, even when I can't like come on video. Usually I'm like feeding rats or coming home from work or something like that. Not feeding rats, but feeding snakes, rats, or coming home from work or something like that. So I just cut the Zoom on and just listen in. But it's real laid back, like a real cool, just kind of like hanging with the guys. Kind of.
I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah, it's just like a Tuesday night, like hang out, like kick it, you know. See what everybody happened for the week. See what's going on. You know, it's become fun. It's just like I enjoy it. I love it. I actually look forward to Tuesday nights. I'm like, it's like, you know, I'll be doing something like, oh shit, it's 2 hours. Like, let's go. I like it. I mean, it's fun. So yeah, it's good shit.
I know I learned a ton just listening in.
What's that?
I said I learned a ton just listening in. It's dope.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that. It's you know, sometimes the conversations go like totally left field. Totally I don't even know what we're talking about. But yeah, no, it's just a good group of guys, and then you know we all meet up at shows, go out for dinner, and just like it is what it is. Everyone, I like that everybody else is like, I don't have to necessarily be there every single day. It's just like you create this like group of guys, and then they're working with each other and doing trades with each other and loans and buying off each other, and it's like this whole like. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I like how it's one tier, everybody on the same level. Is dope.
Yeah, that was one thing I wanted to do right off the bat. I knew that I did. I shouldn't say anything. Everybody else has the tiers. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I won't get you in trouble.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on that one. But, I just wanted everybody to just like, look. I wanted it. It was priced enough to keep like the riffraff and garbage, not garbage, but the bullshit out of it, and it was priced low enough that everybody can swing it, and anything that you put into it comes off of a snake purchase if you decide to do that. So you get it all back anyway. But it's just I wanted everybody to be on the same level, no special treatment, no nothing. Couple of the guys drive me nuts, but I still love them. They're great.
So speaking of learning from people, who were some of your mentors, and what was like some game-changing things that they taught you?
Oh man, Mark Manick would be definitely one of them. He helped us out a lot. Ralph Davis for sure helped me out a lot, which was weird. I had a lot of guys said like Ralph wouldn't talk to them. Ralph was very cold, and with us, he was just very like he has like a hard-nosed approach to things, but he was very helpful when we had questions and when we had anything arise. Or like, hey, you ever seen this? It's like, of course Ralph's seen it. He's read fucking hundreds and hundreds of he's seen everything, you know. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, it's Bruno that drives me nuts. No, it's not you, bro. Some of them, it's Dorian for sure.
Dorian, funny as hell.
Yeah, Mark Manick was definitely one of them. Really, he helped out a lot. And then honestly, like guys like you know, like it didn't have to be. I learned a lot from guys that sort of were on like kind of like the same like playing field as us. I was never on the same like playing field as Mark Manick, especially way back then. And then, you know, so some of the guys that were like coming up in the industry with us, like I saw them as like peers instead of like an industry leader. And yeah, like some of those guys was like, hey, did you have anything happen like this year? Oh yeah, I had this. And like we just kind of like bounced ideas back and forth off each other. And yeah, it was just lots of help. And then honestly, I gotta give credit to just like our perseverance. No matter how much people are gonna tell you, oh yeah, this can happen, that can happen. You don't believe it until it happens. And then like and there's just shit that just arises that you just don't expect. You have a season where you run a little hot and you huge tons amounts of slug outs. You're just like, oh my god, there goes a whole season. Luckily, we've never had entire season slug outs, but we've had snakes slug out. We've had incubator issues. And it's just like the stuff that you almost like. I wish I could teach people how to go through, how to like avoid it, but it's almost like they have to go through it to learn it. It's kind of like I can teach somebody how to, I don't know. I can sit here and explain to you how to fix an engine, but you have to almost like get under the hood and fix the engine to really understand how to fix that engine, right? You almost 100%. Just need that, like you need that practical experience. And I think that's just sticking it out. There was so many times I was like, man, we're just going to quit. Like, fuck this. We're going to quit. And
what kept you going?
What's that?
What kept you going?
It was still fun. Even if I like shut my phone off, disable the website, turn my emails off, completely go dark, I would still have fun by myself just doing what I'm doing and hatching out, oh, wow, look at this one. This one's crazy. I'm going to keep this one. I would still have fun doing that. So
you kind of went underground for a minute, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, man. There was just so much online bullshit. And it was just like, it was forums, man. Keyboard warriors, like, oh, like hiding behind some alias, just talking shit. And it's just like, dude, you're a grown-ass man bitching about us disagreeing about two different shades of yellow on a snake. Like, give your and yeah, it was just like, oh my god, like this is ridiculous. I just felt like the whole like community, I was like, I don't want to be part of this. You guys are nuts. And then I kind of just was like, you know what? I still enjoy doing this. I just like stopped, just basically shut everything down and kept doing it. The thing that happened was I kept breeding. That was the trick. If I had to stop breeding, it's all over. But you kept breeding and kept pushing projects forward because we knew we wanted to see certain things. And I kept in touch with the guys that I was like homies with and guys I was close with, but just like posting publicly, doing YouTube videos. I didn't. I was like, it's not for me. And I totally understand the value of it. And YouTube will be back. There's absolutely, that's in the works.
Nice.
Just waiting to get this building done, and then we'll do a full unveil and show you guys everything that's hatched all year. So there'll be lots of content coming. But it was just at that time, and it wasn't the vibe I was looking for. And so we just went kind of just went dark, kept breeding. And then when we came back up, everybody thought we were dude, it was funny, the guys who had come into the industry while we were dark, and then all of a sudden we started posting the light, they're like, where the fuck did this guy come from? Who is this guy? And that's how I met Khalil. He's like, dude, how do you have this? Like, this was in like 2016, and it was like leopard, whatever, double het DG clowns. He's like, how do you have these already? And I was like, I've had DGs for 8 years already. And he was like, you've had snakes for 8 years? I thought you just got snakes last year. No, dude, not even close. And and it was just like I had to re-explain who we were and that whole thing over and over again. But
that's how I feel like when I see some shit that Levant's got. It's like,
how dude, that guy hides
stuff. Not only do you
like,
have it, you breed it.
Bro, he's like crazy for that. I'll like message him and be like, hey, thinking about starting this DG Clown project. What do you think? Here's 3,500 gram female. What? How old is that fucking thing, dude? Yeah, Levance is great. I like that. I like him a lot. He's a funny guy. He's quiet, right? He doesn't say much, but he doesn't have to. He just
animals speak for themselves.
I don't need to talk. Just look at the table. That's it. And I walk by his table every year at Tilly. I'm like, fuck. Like, god damn, bro. It's nice. It's nice stuff. And yeah, man. Levance is a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah. And so this is kind of a related question. So you've been in the game for a minute. What's like the biggest changes you've noticed the whole time you've been in the hobby? Give us the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I mean, obviously there's the impact social media has had. Can't downplay the impact that it's had on the industry. It's been huge. Some of it bad, some of it great. I would say majority great.
I get now to reach out to all the people that I talk to on a daily basis. I work with all those people consistently, and I do that because of social media, not because of anything else, right? But then there's also the aspect of the online. Everybody knows there's Facebook trolls and all that
Yeah,
sort of shit, right?
yeah.
There's this
All the
scamming on
drama and the
Facebook and
bullshit.
the drama and all that shit, and like social media like amplifies that, right? I hear about drama that's happening in San Antonio. It's like, what the fuck? How am I involved in this? I'm Canada. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just, yeah, it's just like all of a sudden you can connect with everybody all the time, and that's sometimes not always the best thing either. But for the most part, I would say that is a good thing. Yeah, I would say that's a good thing, because like I wouldn't be chatting with you. I wouldn't know half the people in this chat if it wasn't for social media and, like, YouTube lives. And then they reach out, we get
Right.
talking, and some of them are like homies, bro. Like, we're just like, we talk. Some of them I talk to every day, and
Right.
it's just like, yeah, like it's yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the good parts. What about
Yeah.
has anything changed for the worse, or?
I mean, yeah, obviously there's just like the drama of seeing everything all the time. There's also the aspect of obviously I'm not a big like counting followers and how many subscribers I have, and it's almost felt like people don't take you seriously unless it's like, oh, how many YouTube subscribers does he have? How many Instagram? Oh, you only have 5,000. I have 20,000. Like, get the fuck off. Like it just like, come on, man. Like, it's just one of those things. I don't love the like peacocking because I have a whole bunch of followers. It's like, dude, I post pictures of snakes. Well, it's not me they're following. It's the snakes that they're looking at. I
Right.
appreciate everybody that does follow along with what we're doing, but it's just, it sucks. It sucks. I don't like that some guys who have amazing fucking collections and are great guys, but don't have the time to develop it, to be putting out YouTube videos and doing this. Like, it just feels like it's like this popularity. Like, yeah, it makes it true, dude. Like, it's a popularity contest, and you ain't shit unless you have a bunch of followers. It's like that. I don't subscribe to that model at all. Like, at all. It's not me. So that part I'm not a super fan of.
Some of the people with like the dopest collections that I've seen, they don't have a big social media following.
Sickest stuff. Like, besides your giant breeders, like obviously you have your JKRs, Aussies, those guys. But besides those guys, most of the guys with like the dopest collections are kind of low key.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, they do it because they love it, and they really, when you love it, you develop some dope stuff. Like, you make some really sick stuff,
Yeah.
And they work with what they like. It's like this. It's great. And yeah, Matt, you're 100% right. Like, that, I wouldn't know half the people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis without social media. So it's fantastic for networking. But I just think that this, like, I just think that this whole, like, you got to have 100,000 followers to be anybody. It's just bullshit. It's just like, no, you don't, man. You don't need any followers. If you got cool stuff and we see eye to eye, we're good. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely been the biggest benefit for me, though, is networking, right?
For sure.
Half the people,
sure.
I mean, like you said, when I had a chance to talk to you, pretty much everybody who I talk to, I know them through social media, right? And so that's been the biggest thing. It's just like getting to meet people, and, you know what I'm saying? And you naturally connect with people who you have stuff in common with. And that dynamic don't change, whether it's social media, whether it's in person. You're going to kind of like gravitate towards the folks that you got a good connection with.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I understand as a business wanting to get more reach. I totally get that. I'm full-time. This is my livelihood. It's I want the reach. I want to reach out to as many people and show as many people what we're doing. But I don't think you should be judged based on, I don't know. Some people are that way. Some people aren't. I think most people totally get it. I don't subscribe to like, oh, follow me, I'll follow you, and this and that. I just, man, I don't know. I just, it's just not my thing. The whole social media thing has become so like it's a beast of its own. It's not about the snakes. It's about how many followers can I get? How quickly can I get them? How like, and I get
Beating
it.
the
Some of it,
algorithm, all that shit.
yeah, exactly. When you start talking to me about like, oh, the Instagram algorithm, I'm just like, okay, like my eyes glaze over. I'm like, you lost me, dude. Like, I don't care. I don't care what their algorithm does. I don't give two shits, man. I just want to make cool shit, show it to the people that I know are following along. And as a general rule, by 6 months from now, all these racks will be empty and I'll be completely sold out anyway. So how much more of a reach do I can't supply the people that want to buy this shit already? So I don't need more reach. It's kind of the yeah.
That's not a bad problem to have, to not be able to keep anything on the shelves.
I mean, it doesn't. It's not every single time, like every single bin you post something, it's like gone, gone, gone. Obviously, that's unrealistic. But every business is like that, right? If I was selling these Yetis, I wouldn't like you put 30 of these on the shelf. You're not gonna move every single one every single day. You know, it's just
right.
So just have realistic expectations with this.
Gotcha. So all things considered, where do you see the market going or the industry going in the next 5, 10, 15 years?
I can't see anything but going up. Like I don't know. I'm very optimistic. I think there's some downside for sure, as some stuff coming. Oddly, like obviously the economy takes its toll, right?
Right.
A bad economy, it's not good for anybody, right? Nobody. Well, I mean, yes, very slim few people do well in a bad economy, but a bad economy isn't like a great thing for ball python breeders. Let's be totally serious. Now, I will say that the higher end spectrum that you get to, those move the fastest for us, for sure. The highest end animals we produce every single year, those will sell same day. If I post it, say it's available, someone's going to message me and we're going to make a deal. But in a down economy, you're what people call like your bread and butter stuff, your clown combos, your pie combos, that sort of thing. I think those definitely look, when people can't afford to pay their mortgage, buying a $5,000 snake is generally not in the cards, right?
Right.
And I think throughout COVID, we had a huge boom of people getting into it because everybody had money and everybody was off of work and everybody was, what are we doing? Let's get some this looks cool. We can breed these and make a bunch of money. Everybody was thinking that way. So I don't think. I think you're going to see a bunch of people get out over the next couple of years. People get in when the times are super easy. Like the last 3 years, man, you could have put a normal up for sale and it was sold. You know, like you could sell anything, man. I could have sold sheds last year. Like it was ridiculous. And then it's slowing down, obviously. Like I'm sure nobody wants to hear that, but it's the reality. The economy slows down, so do the sales of ball pythons. I'm not saying, oh my God, market's crashing, everything's done. But we had this like exponential spike in the market, and this like prices went through the friggin' roof. And now they're coming back down to where they originally were, where they had been for the last 8 years. They had been that way. COVID happened, boom, prices went up. They're starting to come back down to where they should have been the whole time. And yeah, I think it's just that's a natural swing of the market. You have a massive boom of people. You also have that come down. You know,
market correction now.
The market does this all the time, right? It's all the time. You know, it's nothing I lose sleep over. It's nothing I worry about. I know that, yeah, sure, your $8,000 clown is now a $5,000 clown. Well, breed them. Breed them. You're still stupid profitable with the thing. Like stupid profitable with the thing.
Yeah.
You know, breed them good clutch, and it's insane. You know, I mean, let's be serious. Desert Ghosts went from $600. That's what people were paying for DGs 4 years ago. $600 for females.
I wish you could have got some of those.
Yeah, dude, I was selling pastel OD DGs 4 years ago for like $800-900.
Females?
And yeah. And then all of a sudden, I went on Morph Market one day and people were like, somebody messaged me. It's like, your DGs are way too cheap. And I was like, what do you mean? They've been the same price for fucking 8 years. How are they too cheap? And I got, I don't have any more actually. But I went on Morph Market one day and plain Desert Ghosts for $2,500. I was like, where have I been? And I was just like, okay, I guess that's the price. I don't set them. I don't try to undercut the market, but I also don't try to set the market price unless I'm the only person with it. Then I guess I will. But yeah, DG Clowns got hot. The Desert Ghost market just went through the roof. And
people start seeing like how well DG aged and how well
people started to catch on,
combos.
Right? And the guys who were sitting on a bunch of them did very well. I didn't capitalize on that DG boom very much because I was still holding it back from my projects. I didn't like go crazy selling Desert Ghosts. I can ask anybody who got a DG last year. Very few people. Very, very few people. So I didn't like try and capitalize on that at all. But I just was sort of sitting there like, how are these that much all of a sudden? And they're going to come back down. They may not come back down to 600, but they're going to come back down to a more reasonable price for that specific combo. And yeah, I mean, there was just a boom in buying. When there's a boom in buying, when the demand supersedes the supply, prices go up. And then supply is going to start to supersede the demand, and then the prices will start to fall. Just when you have a boom of people getting in and there's only a finite amount of animals produced every year, people want those animals and they sell, you know?
No, they was cutting like stimulus checks left and right. So everybody had that extra cash.
Oh, well, you're tripping. You're tripping, dude. You're not right. Lace puzzles over DG
greater
puzzles.
than DG puzzles.
I have them both. So here, it's not true.
So obviously it's circumstance dependent, but just kind of like generally speaking, you got any advice for a new breeder getting into the game right now, given the market slowdown?
Sorry, say it again.
So you got any advice for like a new person getting into the game right now, given the market slowdown?
Yeah, I mean, just like buy what you like. That's really what it comes down to. Always, regardless of what the market's doing, regardless of trying to what time to be in the project, when to get in, when to exit, work with what you like working with. If you do that, you will be successful. For sure. No question.
True. So what's next for Royal Canadian Reptiles? What we got?
I don't know. Honestly, just hatch out more babies, get them going.
So I know you got the new building coming. You got the new building coming up. You got the YouTube coming up.
Yeah, we got some of that stuff coming along. That's definitely coming. Building should be done. I'm gonna guess about 3 weeks. That's my hope.
Okay.
That's my hope. I mean, there's always delays, so it might be 6 weeks. I don't know, but we'll be in there. We'll be in there soon, and then we can start to really show you guys what's behind us. There's some cool stuff. That I haven't really shown off, and I want to get some size on it. I want to let it grow a little bit, and then we're gonna probably unveil sort of like a new YouTube channel, the same channel but just a new style of doing videos. Yeah. I know the cheat code for keeping that orange. Well, it's hypo. 100%.
Hypo is so slept on.
DG hypo with OD in it, bro. It's insane. It's insane. I know what he's saying. The Desert Ghost, when you add an Orange Dream Desert Ghost, it does put like a yellowish kind of wash on it as they grow. But you start to add hypo on there, dude. Look out. Now people like, it's obscene how nice they are. It's honestly like it fucks with me. I open, I'm like, that shouldn't be real. I want this everywhere.
Yeah, hypo does a lot. I feel like a lot more people working with hypo now and not sleeping on it. I know
Hypo's great. Hypo's a great gene, and it's been super honest. I regret I moved all my hypo stuff years ago.
Oh, word.
I kept a couple. I kept a handful of stuff. But I moved a whole pile of it, and I shouldn't have. I should have kept a bunch. Now I moved them out for DGs, so I don't really regret doing it. But yeah, it's.
I saw some Cypress OD clown combos. I've seen quite a few lately.
Oh, insane, right?
And I feel like Cypress OD hypo clown combos would be super nice.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Cypress Super OD clown combos. You seen that one from Ozzy? Black pastel. There's like a black pastel Super OD Cypress clown. It's like I commented on this thing and I stand by it. It was probably May that it hatched, and when he posted it, I was like, "Yo, that's Snake of the Year," and it's like May, like how? And I still stand by it. I haven't seen somebody make anything as cool. That's been my favorite Snake of the Year. It was like a black pastel Super OD Cypress yellow belly clown or something like that. It was
okay. I think I might have saw that. I thought you were a hypo clown version of it. But yeah, something like that, hypo clown.
Oh yeah, hypo. They can make that like hypo DG, bro. It's just come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's gonna be silly.
Yeah, Cypress do a lot of sick stuff in the clown combos. I like it a lot. And then just throwing hypo in there, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah.
All
the
right,
other thing I can recommend to people is to not get so hung up on flavor of the week. That's if you do that, bro, you're always chasing. It's just it doesn't work. So right now, the hottest, I would say the hottest gene out there is lace. The guys who understood that, the guys who like really got that, had lace 5 years ago, right? I've been working with lace now for like 4 or 5 years, and all of a sudden, everyone's like, lace. I need lace, and I'm like, guys, they were so cheap like 2 years ago. Nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted a fucking lace combo. Then all of a sudden, people are like, I need lace. And you gotta just like work with shit that you like and make something cool with it. But stop doing this like I can say Spider's great gene. Everyone wants Spider again. Why? No. Do you like Spider? If you do, there's some reasons why I would say maybe not base your collection around Spider, but
yeah, 100%.
If what makes you happy, do it. But stop chasing. And then the industry is in this like frenzy, like, then what's the next gene? What's the next gene? And it's like, dude, you haven't done anything with the genes you have.
Have you seen that Cosmos stuff?
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. And I'm super pumped for Ralph. He made some wicked stuff. But, would I love to add that to my collection? Absolutely, I'll add it in. But it's not going to be my focus. I will add it in and I will do what I do with that. When I bring that in, it'll end up in the clown stuff, end up in DG clown stuff, DG hypo clown, DG hypo puzzle, DG puzzle. Like that's the route it'll take through my collection instead of trying to bring one in and just crank out a gazillion of them.
Right.
It's
and that's how you protect the project too. I feel
like a lot of the majority of the market's fairly newish. But lots of the market is new, and a lot of the buying portion of the market is new, and I think that they just get hung up on like, oh, I gotta have this, and I gotta have this, and I gotta have this, instead of like, I really like working with these. I really like the look of this, and I'm gonna continue. This is the route I want to go. Do what you enjoy doing, and you will be successful. I promise you. You chase and chase and chase and chase, and you're going to always feel like you're just barely keeping your head above water.
That's great advice. I know for me, I plan on sticking in these same recessive projects. I see other stuff that I like, but I just don't want to expand out them, at least not right now. That's how I feel. Just want to stick with working what I'm working with the baseline genes we got going, and combining that and just doing more with those and leveraging those to their fullest capacity. Yeah, absolutely. All right, bro. So Before we let you get out of here and enjoy the rest of your night, I got a few random questions for you that I always ask everybody. So we'll start with this one. So if you could live anywhere in the world, where would that be and why?
Ah, man. That's a tough one, dude. I'm pretty chill right here, man. Honestly. It would have to be like I'd probably like a ranch in like Montana or something, man.
Okay.
Just like just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres for as far as you could see, and just like I just out on my own with my family and the dogs and just like doing my thing, you know. That's like that would be awesome.
Okay. I feel like I heard you say something about Tennessee one time and living in the country in Tennessee.
I like Tennessee. I like the idea of Tennessee. I do like it. I do like their like weather. They still have seasons, but it's not like super cold.
It's not crazy. Yeah.
Tennessee would be a good one. But I mean, if I can really pick, and I have like money's not an object, yeah, like a ranch in Wyoming or Utah or Montana, something in that range for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So if you could have dinner with any three people, dead or alive, who would those three people be and why?
Whew, good question. Dinner with three people, dead or alive. Probably Freddie Mercury.
Okay.
I mean, I'd love to. I honestly probably Joe Rogan.
You said Joe Rogan?
Yeah. Okay. I think he's a super interesting guy. Poof. I don't know. I don't know who the third one would be. I don't know. Honestly, like
what questions are you asking?
My grandmother.
Nice. That's dope.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
What questions are you asking? Like what would you ask Joe? Yeah, what would you ask Joe?
Like how so he's a huge bow hunter. Like he's into bow hunting, archery, and I recently have been sort of obsessing with that. And like just like the stuff that he gets to do, like that guy's life seems so sick. He gets like all the UFC fights. He caught me sitting ringside at every fucking UFC fight. His job is to talk to some of the most interesting people in the world for 2 hours and record it. Like that's his job. Like that's fucking sweet. Yeah. And he has like he's just super successful. Like it's just like it. I don't know. When I look at somebody, I'm like, yo, that guy's life seems pretty fucking dope. And then who else did I say?
Freddie Mercury.
Oh, Freddie Mercury. Just because that guy's like a trip, man. That guy's like pretty wild. Like obviously the lead singer of Queen in a time where like that was like he was like a freak, you know what I mean? But then look at the music, like play one Queen song, every fucking person in the world. You play like one little bit of a Queen song, you're like, oh yeah, I know that song. You know, it's just like how to like rise to that level of like stardom and popularity is crazy. And without Instagram, without followers, without subscribers, he did it on his own. And then obviously my grandmother, she's passed away, but just be cool to talk to her again, you know?
Dope.
Yeah.
All right, so you wake up tomorrow morning, $10 million was deposited into your bank account. How you use it?
How much?
$10 million.
Probably just keep going the way things are going. Yeah. Just, I don't know, pay somebody to finish the rest of the building. And probably go on a much needed vacation, and then get back to work.
So you've been pretty much doing all the building on the building yourself, right?
Yeah, me and a couple of buddies. Adam's helped a lot. Myself and and another buddy close by here.
Nice. Yeah, I would definitely pay somebody to do it if I had the extra $10 million in the bank.
No,
right,
yeah,
so
there's like some creature comforts that I would love to like just be like, okay, you do that shit. I don't. Not doing that. Yeah,
I appreciate it. You can direct,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. You can do that. Yeah, I might. I mean, 10 million. I'd do some fun stuff. I go on some cool trips, and but honestly, I don't know how much would change. I might put an addition on my house, but I probably wouldn't be like selling and moving across the world and going balling out, buying Ferraris and Lambos. That's just not me. Buy a nice truck, go on some nice trips.
Nice. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. So what's one question you wish I would have asked you? Then how would you have answered that question?
Pardon me? Say that again?
So what's one question you wish I would have asked you? And then how would you have answered that question?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's like, I don't know. What's the question?
Everybody always say that's the hardest question.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't have a question like loaded to. I wish he had asked me that. I'd have.
Yeah, every now and then someone hit me with something good, and I like add it to the list and try to ask people about that going forward.
Yeah, I like those wrap up questions though. Like who would you have dinner with? Because man, there's 3 people. Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's a tough one,
especially on the spot too. Especially on the spot.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's some that's like you'd want to have dinner with, but like you don't really either. Like they're pretty fucked up. They're just not like understand the mind of like some of these like fucking like some of these fucking serial killers, man. I just watched a documentary about Ted Bundy. Guy is like insane. Like he is full blown insane. But like if I knew he's not going to kill you, and I could just have dinner with him and just be like, "Yo, you are fucked up," you know that?
Yeah,
right?
like what the fuck are you thinking?
Like, yeah, but like the experience would be kind of like. As long as it's like a safe, controlled environment, I'm not going to get killed. That would be interesting, the psychology of like the way people think and like what makes them do what they do. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that was a good question. I like that one. There's so many I could go on and on. Dude, that Dahmer show, bro, fucked up, man.
What's that?
There's a new show on Netflix called Dahmer, about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, about Jeffrey Dahmer?
So
that was another crazy person.
Dude, super fucked up person. Like super fucked up person. Like he like killed people and ate them. Like he was like pretty. Yeah, man. Like he's sick. He's sick.
That's sick.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Sick.
Nasty in the head. Like seriously mentally ill. And yeah, but it's just like it's like people do that shit. Like that's I don't know. It's weird. But there's like that like allure to it too, right? Like that's why serial killer shows are so popular. That's why they make a series about it because you're like, this is fucked up, but I can't look away. It's like watching a train.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's crazy shit. Like, I'm glad I can't imagine that thought process because if I could imagine that thought process, there might be something wrong. So I'm glad I can't really imagine.
Right, you can't even like fathom what that that thought would be, but like it's I feel you. It's man. If anyone hasn't seen it, it's like it's.
I'm going to check that out. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, some of it's pretty difficult to watch, but it's messed up, man. It's messed up. But it's one of those shows that you're just like you watch it and you're just like, then you next episode. Yeah.
Okay, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Everyone loves a train wreck. Yeah, everyone loves a train wreck. Yeah, everyone looks like a train wreck. But yeah, everyone loves a train wreck, right? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out now. I didn't know about it though, so yeah, I'm definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
All right, bro. So I really appreciate you coming on, bro. Been looking forward to this all week. I was a little scared because I thought we was gonna lose power, and I was like coming up with like a backup plan on how I would do it if we lost power. And
we would just reschedule, bro. I make time for you, man, for sure. Are you coming to Tinley?
Yeah, we'll be in Tinley.
You're gonna be there? Hell yeah! All right,
cool,
man.
Yeah,
next week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but yeah, like I say, I appreciate you coming on, bro. Really been looking forward to this. Tell everybody where they can find you online.
I mean, you go to Instagram, Royal Canadian Reptiles. You go to YouTube, Royal Canadian Reptiles. That's about it. Facebook,
so IG and YouTube, Facebook. Okay, got you.
Yeah, reach out one of those ways. You can send an email to royalcanadianreptiles@gmail.com. Actually, my preferred way of communication because that's something I will actually check daily. Instagram messages, Facebook messages, YouTube comments. It's just like all that shit kind of just jumbles into.
I can imagine, bro.
Check each one and each different platform, and there's like 5 different ways I can get a message on Facebook through the business page, through my own thing. If I haven't like accepted it as a friend, it gets hidden and I don't see it. So Royal Canadian Reptiles @gmail.com. If you want to reach out, that's my preferred way. I will see it and I will get back to you. That's the It's sometimes if you send me a message on Facebook, dude, if you go to Instagram and click like unread, it's just like you could scroll for 20 minutes. I just like, and there's so many people asking me questions, I just can't get back to them all.
Yeah.
But if they
I can imagine.
went to my website and emailed me, I would answer them back. It'd be a lot easier for me to do. But
I can imagine that gets hectic.
What's that?
So I can imagine that gets hectic. Like
it does. It's so hard to organize. Like the social media, like you can't organize the chats. Is like, okay, I want this chat at the top or this. My email, I can put them into folders and then reminders, set them on my email, goes to my calendar. It's so much easier.
And you probably get crazy messages too. Like, is this an NG? What do you think?
Oh yeah, Is it supposed to be like that? That's my first. That's always my first question. Does this look like a clown? Nope. If you're not getting that one, you might want to do some research, man. That's a pretty easy one to ID, and you're messing that one up. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, bro. Well, I'm gonna let you go. Everybody in the chat, really appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you for all the support. It really helps us out. And remember, you can check out the recordings of the episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. Again, thank y'all for coming out. Be blessed. Peace.
Yeah, guys, make sure
hang
you
around for a second.
Make sure you comment. Make sure you not comment. Subscribe to his channel. I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for stopping out, and I will see everybody at Tinley. If you guys see me and I don't recognize you, stop me. I'd love to shake your hand, say what's up, and if I've never met you, introduce yourself. Just another guy, man.
Thank you, bro. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, bro. I'll see everybody. We'll go out for dinner. We'll go have a drink. Just hang out. It'll be fun.
For sure. Can you hang back for a second?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, man. Peace, everybody.